Welcome back to the WOW Podcast. I am GeNienne Samuels, and I am joined by
Stephanie GeNienne.
Hi, Stephanie. So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yes, we are missing Jade Kenny. She actually, even though this is a crazy time right now, we have a lot going on with stay-at-home situations, working from home. She is working from home all day on conference calls, so we will miss her. But she's keeping it busy, as most of us are, and we are also keeping it busy in Redskins land. So free agency is winding down. So let's quickly talk about some of the highlights that have been going on as far as the Redskins organization and some of our new picks.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So as you mentioned, free agency is definitely winding down. Coach Rivera and Kyle Smith, they brought in multiple players, such as our hometown guy, Kendall Fuller, as well as Thomas Davis and quarterback Kyle Allen, who came from the Panthers. We kept our guard, Brandon Sheriff, via the franchise tag. Super excited about that. And while there were no big name free agents, we signed this offseason. The Redskins focused on depth and shorter terms.
Yeah, and it seems like that focus on shorter terms is going to give us a bit more flexibility, just in the sense of let's see how things go this next season. And if we need to course correct, then we actually have the flexibility to course correct, which is, I think, a very, very smart move on Coach Rivera's part. Now, with Kyle Allen joining the team, obviously he knows the system. He has coached and worked under Coach Rivera, and he's a young guy. He has a live arm, and he understands the game. And what I really love about it is that he has a lot of respect for Coach Rivera. He actually was mentioning to Larry Michael in an interview that he feels that Coach Rivera is awesome and incredible and literally the best coach that he's ever played under. So it really does help, obviously, when you have the quarterback and any team member that really respects the coach. And I think we definitely have that in Kyle Allen. Another thing with Kendall Fuller, obviously, really excited to have him back. So he was with us in 2016. He was a third round draft choice for us. He spent 2 seasons with us. The fans, obviously hated to see him go, but I know that they're going to be excited to have him back. And he had obviously a really good season with Kansas City. He played both in the slot and on the outside, and he was a solid contributor to the Chiefs, and they won the Super Bowl. So I'm really excited about him bringing that winning mentality, that winning environment into our locker room, because that's most definitely what we need.
Definitely. And, it was said in an article that he's willing to play any position in the defensive backfield, but he prefers the outside cornerback. And as you mentioned, coming off that win with the Chiefs, he's ready to win another ring, as are we. And that peer motivation that we've talked about before is very motivating. You can be pushed by your friends a lot stronger. Obviously, Coach Rivera, we all respect. And as you mentioned, the whole, culture changes happen within the organization. We all feel it. We're all very excited. But, bringing that along with some peer motivation is going to really help our team click.
Most definitely. And that's the thing about just sports in general. Whenever you have people in the locker room, people next to you in the line, people that you are trusting to have your back when that quarterback snaps the ball, when you all trust one another and you all are all playing at a higher level, that is going to make everyone play at a high level. And that's going to just level up the entire team, the organization, the fans, the cheerleaders, the environment. And that's really what we need. And I'm really excited to see what these newcomers are going to bring to not just the winning mentality, but the overall environment of the organization.
Exactly. Now, as we mentioned, free agency, that is ending, but draft, that is coming up the end of this month. So, right now, I think our thoughts are, who are we going to pair with McLaurin? Drafting a wide receiver might be in consideration for Coach Rivera. We have Harmon and Sims, but Dwayne could use some more weapons. The other question is, are we looking to replace Trent Williams? There's been no movement in a trade deal for him, but we know that Coach Rivera, as we said, he prefers to work with people that want to be here. And so, I think we need multiple decent picks to build this team. And I think that the Dunbar trade helped with giving us a 5th round pick at least. What do you think?
Yeah, no, most definitely, because we have options, and that's the best position to be in, a position where we actually have options. And I am actually excited about Ronald Darby joining us as our newest cornerback. Obviously the Redskins signed him to a one-year deal, very cost-effective move. He went to high school at Potomac in Oxon Hill, Maryland, so he is a hometown guy. I'm always pulling for the hometown heroes here. And he is best in man coverage because he has a lot of speed. So I think in general, there's going to be a lot of excitement around him because he is from this area.
Right. And if the Redskins decide to stay with the second overall pick, fans say Chase Young is a strong edge rusher that can work with Montez Sweat. Or another name, Isaiah Simmons, a versatile player who can play multiple positions on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's so wonderful. Like, I'm super excited about Chase Young. I know we've talked about him on previous podcasts, but just in general, I'm just excited about the different opportunities that we have available to us, and I'm trusting the process. I know I've said it before, I trust Coach Rivera. In a time when there's a lot of change, when there's a lot of movement, just in life in general, we get scared, we get a little worried because change can be uncomfortable. But I'm putting my trust, I'm putting my faith in Coach Rivera, that he knows what he's doing, and that every decision that he's making, every choice that he makes, every person that he brings onto this team, there's a method behind the madness, there's a reason behind it all, and we just need to relax into it and trust the process.
Agreed. And before we wrap, I did want to mention that the Redskins are doing our own Dream Team draft. You can find it on social media, website. It's really unique in the sense that you could draft a quarterback being Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, I mean, some legends, and then current players as well. So I love that formula of old with the new, just so to build excitement around the draft. Since we don't have say in what really happens, this is the one time we can have some say in our own dream team.
Most definitely. You know what? I don't know who I would pick for quarterback, Theismann or Williams. I know, like, when I met both of them, I literally was like, oh my goodness. It was yesterday. I had the opportunity to interview Theismann years ago. And just about a month ago, when Doug Williams spoke to me for the first time at Redskins Park, I literally went home and was like, Dad, you'll never believe who actually spoke to me today.
Right, you geeked out. I know he's been so sweet and talked to my boys several times. And I'm just like, do you realize who that is talking to you? So they know now, but it's super cool. So.
All right. Well, we want to encourage everyone to participate in the Redskins Dream Team Draft, and that's going to take us to the end of our first segment.
Whether on the field or in the classroom, the Washington Redskins believe learning should be fun. That's why we've partnered with youth entrepreneurs to bring their engaging, hands-on style of learning to classrooms in the DC metro area. Youth Entrepreneurs curriculum was created by educators for educators. That means it's flexible, fun, and absolutely free. To learn more about youth entrepreneurs and how to experience it for yourself, visit getye.org.
Did you know that your Washington Redskins are sponsored by Koch Industries? That's K-O-C-H, Koch. Their 76,000 U.S. employees make a lot of things that make game day better. Greener turf? Yep. They make that. Stronger paper products for tailgating? They make that. Oh, and electronic components and TVs and smart devices so you can watch a Redskins victory anywhere? Yeah, Koch makes that too. See all they make for on and off the field at kochmakesthat.com.
Sign up for FanDuel now and get $5 in total bonus. Just make your first deposit to get started and you'll get an extra $5 in site credit. Go to FanDuel.com or download the FanDuel app.
All right, so let's pick back up. This is the WOW podcast where we are connecting and empowering women through sports, but we are connecting virtually, as you can see, during this kind of new normal time period for all of us. We've got to come up with creative ways to stay connected, to stay involved, to stay motivated, and to just, have a healthy, fun life, even though we don't have that physical connection that we're used to. And Redskins are really participating in this and making sure that everyone is together yet apart with our hashtag Redskins Together Apart. Can you talk a little bit, Stephanie, about what the Redskins organization is doing, what WOW is doing to make sure that this social distancing doesn't get the best of us?
Right. As we talked about before, like to call it physical distancing or social connection. So that way we don't feel quite as lonely. But for the Redskins Together Apart, we've been posting that on WOW platforms for social media, the First Ladies. It's a questionnaire type of thing where you get to fill out like what tips you've learned from working from home, what books you like to read, just things that, can inspire other people or, I don't know, a little insight to you for your friends. And then WOW has some virtual events coming up, which I'm very excited about. April 9th, that's a Thursday, we have a free webinar. It's Creating Healthy Habits Through Food, Essential Oils, and Meditation. And that is with Dr. GeNienne Williams. I know you met her at our leadership brunch this past November. She's quite a motivator. She's talked about filling our cup before we can help other people, and how as women, we always try to help other people first. So really love those motivational words that she gave us. And then we have also some coffee chat check-ins. That's Saturday, April 18th and 25th. And that's where we're just going to have a small group of women. We're going to have a Zoom conference, and we'll share what's going well for us as we are in our homes, and then maybe what's been difficult, so that you have a listening ear, somebody that can maybe try to motivate you or just listen. So those are some of our events. We have for draft, we're partnering with Salute, and we're going to be doing a pre-draft party virtually. We're going to have Mike Nelms and Santana Moss talking to the fans along with you, GeNienne, and you'll be hosting and kind of helping them talk about, what their picks are, and then, maybe get some dream teams from our own Salute and WOW members during that event.
Yeah, I am super excited about all the events that WOW has in place, because I really do think it's important for us within our communities to still stay connected and just be open and honest about what we're struggling with, so that we can help one another. And then, of course, I'm beyond excited about the virtual draft party. I'm going to be like the calm between the two storms. But it's always, just wonderful to reconnect. Mike Nelms, I've interviewed him so many times on game day. And Santana Moss, I was a cheerleader for the Redskins when he was on the team. So it's just really cool to be able to connect with them virtually. And like you said, it's more just about having that social connection and not focusing so much on the fact that we are physically distant. Yes. And so a couple of things I know that I have been doing just to make sure that I still have that connection is, one, I've been using FaceTime a lot more often. So the other day I FaceTimed my mom, and it was the first time I had ever done that before. And I'm like, why in the world am I just now thinking to use FaceTime to talk to my mom? But it was really neat because I could see her. And then also, if you have an iPhone and you have a group text message going, there's an option to hit FaceTime within your group text, and you can FaceTime multiple people all at the same time. So I've used that feature quite a lot recently for virtual happy hours, virtual workouts, and even a virtual dance party. There are DJs that are going live and literally just jamming it up, playing music, and you can literally party out with your friends. I've been taking, like I said, dance classes as well. Just the other day, you were on the virtual dance class with me, where some of the old heads of the First Ladies of football, we all got together and, learned a routine, and then just sat and talked for a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it's just been really nice kind of connecting in a very different way, but it's also been nice seeing what different organizations are out there doing, and, the accommodations that they're making for their employees. NFL actually has partnered with different charitable organizations to provide free digital education and wellness resources and workouts for young kids and their families. I know, Stephanie, I've like probably more pictures of you and your adorable sons, and I have to commend you just because I'm seeing that you're connecting with them in a very different way. So how has that experience been with homeschooling, and do you have any suggestions really quick for our parents out there?
Sure. Definitely want to talk about that more in overtime, because it's not as grand as it seems all of the time. But there's different virtual tours that you can do with zoos. Cincinnati Zoo does some fun things where they feature a different animal. The day that we watched it, they had the penguins walking around with the zookeeper taking their own tour of the zoo, which was very cute. There are national parks, museums doing virtual tours. You also can get readings from astronauts in space. So they'll read a children's book, or Betty White has been doing a children's book reading as well. So there's so many things popping up every day that, I mean, I feel behind, that I need to go back online and learn some more resources.
Most definitely. A lot of resources out there that are available. We just have to be creative. We just have to Google search, and it is there available for all of us. Well, that wraps up segment 2. We will be right back. 75 tons of game day trash and recyclables need to find a home. So when the final whistle blows, our team hits the field. As an official partner of the Washington Redskins, RTS is connecting FedEx Field with smarter waste solutions to ensure a more sustainable and responsible approach to what's left behind at the end of a game. RTS, a better waste company. Find out more at rts.com.
Stay up to the minute with all Redskins news this offseason. Download the official Washington Redskins mobile app. Geographic and device restrictions apply. Data charges may apply.
All right, it is time for overtime. I know when I was a Redskins cheerleader, this was probably the best part of the game, the most impactful part of the game. And we feel like this is the most impactful part of our podcast, because as we are trying to connect and empower women through sports, this is all about empowerment, making sure that our women out there are living the best versions of themselves and leveling up every single day and living within their purpose, which in all honesty can be a little difficult right now just because of the social distancing, the physical distancing. So Stephanie, what type of barriers or issues are you hearing out there as far as, you know, parents and just people in general? And then I actually have a couple of tips that I want to share with everyone.
Well, good, because we need your tips. Today, especially, was a very difficult homeschooling day. You know, when you have 2 kids, and I even have the help of my mom, it's a lot of, they have a really big curriculum that they've set for you to achieve daily. And so that's Zoom meetings with teachers, and then online readings, math, and then if you can't get something to upload, Lord help you, that just stalls everything. So it's been a challenging day, I would say, trying to work and do homeschooling, even with help. And I can't imagine some of my friends that have to do that alone. In fact, one of Max's classmates, his mom has a post that she does called Mediocre Parenting Tips. And I have to say, just, it makes you laugh when you're like, I'm terrible. She's just, her outlook is like, look, you know, like, I'm doing what I can. I just close myself in the closet at least a couple times a day and cry. And I think that brings me to the point that people are kind of being more real right now. It's not as grand and wonderful. You know, yes, we all want to come out of this better and closer with families. And I'm so proud and happy of the time that I do get with my boys to go bike riding like you've seen. But I think that it's good for us to also be honest about what is hard right now, and okay with admitting that at times it is hard.
Right. And it has been difficult. It has been hard. But to your point, it's also been an opportunity for us to all experience realness and to share that realness out in the universe, right? You know, even watching local news, you're seeing anchors in their house, in their environment, which is kind of cool to see, you know, their environment, but they're having to do their own makeup and they're being real about it, like being very authentic. And one thing that I'm hearing is just, hey, it's hard to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. I no longer have that schedule. I no longer have this regimen. So I really wanted to talk a little bit about providing tips just for mental health and making sure that we're all staying sane, but that we're also, especially for parents, focusing on ourselves during this time as well, because that is very important. We have to be somewhat selfish. So tip number 1 is really to just make sure that you still develop and stick to a schedule and a routine. We, by nature, are used to the routine, and that makes us feel comfortable. And when we don't have that, you don't even realize it. but it could create sadness and slight depression. So you still want to own your mornings. You want to own your evenings. You want to make sure that you still set your alarm. Maybe you're sleeping a half hour or an hour later. That's fine, but still set your alarm. Wake up with set your alarm and wake up with purpose. Make sure that you still have your morning routine. Get your workout in, your meditation, your hypnosis, read your book, your visualization, whatever it is that you do in the morning. Still make sure that you focus on yourself and do that. You also, tip number 2, want to make sure that you're fueling your mind, your body, and your spirit. We as humans need all 3 of those areas covered. So you have to make sure you're still focusing on personal development and positivity, that you're fueling your body with the right foods. Don't snack all day endlessly. You have to make sure you monitor your snacks. Connect with your friends and family virtually. Use your phone, Skype, FaceTime, all of that. Even though we physically can't be close to one another, we can connect virtually. You also want to limit the amount of time that you spend watching TV and phone scrolling. Put that device down and spend time with yourself and with your family. And last but not least, do something that's been on your to-do list for eons that you haven't had the opportunity to do. Write that book. Read that book. Figure out what your goals are and start accomplishing them. Work on something on your to-do list. We can make this a very productive, healthy time. We just need a little bit of focus.
Yeah, I hear you. I woke up this morning and I did a ballet bar class, which I haven't done in years. That was free online. It felt amazing. Then I was listening to a podcast last night. It's From Doctor to Patient. And he had this Dr. Sandra on, and she talks about how, yes, we all want to meditate, but if that's something you didn't have in your wheelhouse already, it's hard right now. We're experiencing a lot of stress, a lot of unknown, and it might not be the time for you to just jump into meditation if it isn't your, what you're used to. But she said start with breath. Your breathing, slowing it down, taking deep breaths, getting in tune, maybe just staring at something and noticing it, then going somewhere else. And she said also focus on what your character strengths are. So instead of worrying about, I can't meditate or I can't do this, focus on what your strengths are, and that will help. And then just breathing, which seems so minor, but when she was speaking, I immediately started to calm down when she started to talk about breath. So there's lots of different things you can do. And of course, yoga, I've been taking some of those classes online for free. So I am trying to get that me time in. It just so happens by the time I get in bed, and I'm starting to read that book by Gina DeVee on the audacity to be queen, which I really have liked thus far. I am getting a little tired and falling asleep, but
that's okay, because that means you had a very productive, busy day. So yes, those are wonderful, wonderful tips. Whatever works for you, you've got to find that and make sure you do that. Just make sure that you're putting yourself first and that you're focusing on your body, your mind, and your spirit, and you're trying to live your best life, even in these uncertain times. Well, that is all that we have time for. Please, please be sure to connect with us. Subscribe to our podcast if you haven't done so already. Also, comment below and just let us know, how are you spending your time? What are you doing right now to keep you motivated and to keep you in high spirits? We would love to know so that we can share it with others in our community. That is all for now. Thanks so much for joining us on the WOW Podcast, where we connect and empower women through sports. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Are uninvited pests ruining your plans? Let PMSI, the pest control partner of the Washington Redskins, handle it for you. Call today for your free inspection, and they'll work around your schedule to provide you the best solution possible to defend your home territory against pests of all kinds, including mold. Visit mypmsi.com for the game plan to control the pests on your home turf. That's mypmsi.com.
Dear customer service, I can always count on Novak. My power is always on, my payments always go through, and Novak actually cares about the community they serve.
Dear Novak, your electric costs are reasonable. Some electricity is from alternative sources, and cost reductions are passed along during the year. Thanks.
Novak, power you can count on.
At Coke, our 67,000 U.S. employees make things that make your game days better, like fertilizer for greener turf and stronger paper products for tailgating. Viewing the game from your couch? Coke also makes the electronic components in TVs and smart devices so you can watch your Redskins victory anywhere. Coke, we make that. See it all at KOCHmakesthat.com. That's CokeMakesThat.com.
Your heart works hard, and sometimes its parts need repair. That's what we do at Innova's Structural Heart Program in Fairfax. With outcomes that exceed the national average, we're a leader in both minimally invasive repair techniques and surgery to address heart valve disease. Give your heart the benefit of care from Innova Heart and Vascular Institute. Find an Innova physician by visiting innovaheart.org/valve. Innova. Join the future of health.